Hello and thanks for joining us. We're starting at the world premiere in Paris of Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. The two-time Oscar-winning actress Renée Zellweger was joined on the red carpet by co-stars Hugh Grant, Oscar-nominated actor Chiwetel Ejiofor and the White Lotus breakout actor Leo Woodall. Dheepthika Laurent was there for us.
She charmed her way onto our screens 24 years ago. This February, Renée Zellweger reprises her iconic role as Bridget Jones for the fourth and final time in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy.
Ah, Mrs. Darcy?
Mr. Wallaker.
Why is your granny wearing pajamas?
Bridget un jour, Bridget toujours.
Why?
Parce que c'est des feel-good et qu'à l'époque actuelle, il n'y en a plus trop du feel-good. Elle avait 1 an pour le premier Bridget Jones. Elle a été bercée dedans.
Et depuis, c'est une tradition familiale de le regarder au moins 2 ou 3 fois par an.
Which one is your favorite movie?
Je crois que ça reste quand même le premier, mine de rien, parce que on l'a découvert à ses tout débuts.
C'est vraiment un personnage qui est différent de toutes les comédies romantiques. On voit vraiment un personnage qui peut fumer, qui peut boire, qui peut sortir à moitié à poil dehors si on veut, et qui un peu s'en fiche du regard des autres.
Bridget in 3 words.
Okay.
I love her.
Over the first 3 films, Bridget Jones, scrappy, single and childless, was a gleeful antithesis to the impossible standards set on women to be perfect. In the end, she did get it all, though, marrying Mark Darcy, having 2 children and a thriving career. Then came heartbreak.
She's imperfect, but she never gives up. She always somehow finds a way, sort of inspires us when we see ourselves in her imperfections, not to give up.
Mad About the Boy explores her grief as a widowed mother. It picks up 4 years after the untimely death of Darcy.
Very much. Just as you are.
But sometimes, those memories are suddenly...
Bridget.
all we're left with.
For me as a filmmaker, one thing since the age of, in my 20s, Bridget Jones and Mark Darcy, it was like one of the great screen couples. You know, it's like, Hepburn and Tracy, you know what I mean? It was like a classic screen pairing. And so I had the opportunity now to tell the story of how do you move on from something unfathomable, a loss you can't believe. And that doesn't make it necessarily sad. It has elements of sadness and grief, but I describe it as a comedy of grief.
Encouraged by her friends, she starts dating again. She meets younger man Rockster, played by British actor Leo Woodall.
How old are you?
28.
Oh!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm 29.
And her kid's science teacher, Mr. Wallaker, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor.
You sure you're up to this?
I'm your girl.
Would you guys be up for a quiz to see how well you know Bridget Jones?
Go on then.
Yeah? All right. So the first film, what color was the soup that she made for her friends?
This one blue.
Excellent.
So in the second film, in which country does she end up in prison?
Yeah, I think it's Thailand. Yeah, Thailand.
Very good. 2 for 2. And which singer makes a guest appearance in the third film?
I know this too. Why don't you tell us?
Excuse me? Do you mind if we ask you to take a photo of us?
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you know? Do you have an idea? Ed Sheeran.
Very good. 3 for 3. Also back is Hugh Grant's character, Daniel Cleaver. For the film, Grant rewrote some of his own lines to reflect a more mature and less selfish Daniel Cleaver.
Shaz is right.
Oh my God.
It's been 4 years now.
You're effectively a nun, a very, very naughty nun.
I just thought it would be a little boring and perhaps a little ridiculous if he was still exactly the same flaneur.
Miniature Darcy, what's the news?
Where are the ladies with the big...
Hair. Well, they couldn't make it, I'm afraid. They're washing their hair.
All 3?
Well, they wash each other's, you see.
One thing that will strike fans is just how sad this film is as it tackles middle-aged grief.
Bridget, you're a widow with 2 wonderful children. My advice to you is put your own oxygen mask on first. You just have to get laid.
we all have our own ways of dealing with loss and sadness, but in the end of the day, there comes a moment where we say, it's time to live.
I also think that perhaps people relate to Bridget in the way we all relate to our friends, in that you don't have the friend or want the friend who comes home and says, oh, look at me, I'm so fabulous, and I'm having a marvellous day. You really like the friend that comes home and says, you won't believe what I've just done, get me a glass of wine. And then you laugh and you are honest about what's really going on. And you can be real and comfort each other. So maybe it's like that.
Now that is what I call a rebrand.
Did you have sex?
Did you have sex? Did you have sex last night?
Yes, I did. I had a full night of utterly mind-blowing sex, and it was amazing.
After nearly 25 years, is this the final curtain call for the Bridget Jones franchise?
Never say never, darling.
Sometimes I think we'll be back in 5 years doing Bridget Jones's diaper.
As for those rumours that Hugh Grant kept Bridget Jones's granny pants from the first film?
Yep, I'm wearing them now.
Do you miss Dada sometimes? I miss him all of the times.
Can you survive?
I think so.
It's not enough to survive, you've got to live.
Was that the Dalai Lama?
Just Harry Styles, I think.
And Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy is out in France next week. Now, French actress Juliette Binoche will preside over the jury for the 78th Cannes Film Festival. She succeeds last year's president, Greta Gerwig, making this the second time Cannes has had back-to-back female jury leads. The remaining jury members are yet to be selected ahead of the event in May. Eliza Herbert reports.
She has more than 70 films under her belt and is one of France's best-known actors. Juliette Binoche, renowned for films such as The English Patient and Certified Copy. Now she will add another notch to her resume, presiding over the 78th Cannes Film Festival, a role she says is a privilege and a responsibility.
In 1985, I climbed the steps for the first time with the enthusiasm and uncertainty of a young actress. I never imagined returning 40 years later in this honorary role as jury president.
Binoche has previously been honoured at Cannes, but her accolades extend beyond home soil. She has won awards at the Venice Film Festival, the Berlinale, and is one of only a handful of French actors to have won an Oscar. An advocate for political and humanitarian issues, Binoche has added her voice to France's Me Too movement and backed actors speaking out about sexual assault, making the choice for her to chair this year's jury powerful and symbolic.
She's an actress who has spoken out a great deal, especially recently, about sexist and sexual violence in the world of cinema. Violence she has suffered herself. The fact that she is the head of the Cannes Film Festival jury is not enough to compensate for the sexist residues within the festival and the lack of parity.
Binoche will follow American director Greta Gerwig, who awarded the Palme d'Or in 2024.
Next, the animation studio behind Despicable Me's world-famous Minions has unveiled its latest creation, Night of the Zoopocalypse. It's a family horror comedy about a virus unleashed in a zoo that starts turning animals into zombies. The film has an unmistakable French touch. Charlie James takes us to the MacGuff studios in Paris to see how they brought it to life.
You hear that? I think something's not right.
It's a film with everything to frighten us and dazzle us. Animals infected by a virus transformed into slobbering zombies.
It has become some kind of gummy zombie.
But with stunning graphics and incandescent colors, it's as beautiful as a painting.
I'd call that something worse.
Night of the Zoopocalypse is the latest sensation from French animation studio MacGuff, already known for Kirikou, Azur and Asmar, and of course, those famous Minions who have generated over 4 billion euros in revenue. A specialist in 3D animation, MacGuff Studios is now a European leader in the field, and their artists revealed some behind-the-scenes secrets.
Everything starts with drawing the characters and the scenery. Once the drawings are done, we move on to the 3D computer version. Then we bring the character to life.
We add a small skeleton inside the character.
At first, they look a bit dazed, but we can give them a more bored expression, for example. We make them perform like real actors.
2 years of work, 200 technicians, and a budget of 16 million euros, resulting in special effects that rival American studios, and with a uniquely French touch.
Culture is in France's DNA, even in the way we film. Artistically and creatively, we're solid. We have a strong culture. People look to France because even if we're a bit more expensive, we're still better.
The studio is currently working on the animation for another highly anticipated film, The Incredible Shrinking Man, starring Oscar-winning actor Jean Dujardin.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show. We're going to leave you with the latest film from director Steven Soderbergh. Presence is a haunted house thriller starring Lucy Liu. Thanks for watching. See you next time. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
You wonder where they are. And you wonder what it would be like if you were there too.